someone lost their life, and Alex was super remorseful and pissed off. Okay, so do you want a timeline? Okay, so here's what happens. Here is a spinless narrative of what happened on the movie set. So they are shooting I know who you meant. You're good, my guy. So they're shooting a movie, a Western, called Rust. There are issues with the crew citing dangerous working conditions. Earlier in the shoot, a gun fired without warning. Like there was an accidental firing. No one was hurt, nothing too bad, but it happened. Later in the movie set, they're filming a scene. The prop master says, cold gun, hands Alec Baldwin a gun. In between like filming, he's getting direction from the director of photography. The direction is for him to turn and point the gun at the camera, for which the gun is then supposed to fire, I'm assuming. He follows through, the gun goes off, goes through the director of photography into the director. The director of photography is killed. The director is injured, but okay. That's what happened. Here's the issue. How did the gun get on set? Or not the gun, sorry. It was a live round, like an actual legit bullet. And it's like, why is there a bullet on set? That's crazy. There was a live round mixed in with dummy rounds, which are still dangerous, but a live round mixed in, and he turned and allowed the gun to fire. He claims that he never pulled the trigger, that he had pulled the hammer back and let the hammer go, and that he didn't actually pull the trigger. I think his thinking is that makes him less liable, but like that's how a gun fires, is you pull the trigger, which brings that, because it is a revolver, I think. Yeah, so he's pretty pissed off. He claims in the interview, I'm thinking we pull it up. I'm thinking we pull this shit up. Is this gonna get me claimed? Let's try it. So I do not think, I watched a legal analysis of it from a YouTuber because I'm curious about it. Let's see, Alec Baldwin interview. So part 1. All right, let's do it. Let me know what you think about this. I think he comes off. Wait. Volume warning. Okay, real quick. Will you let me know if this is loud or quiet?
Thank you for doing this. You haven't said much in public since that tragic accident. Why speak out now?
Well, I think that there's a criminal investigation, and that could be a while. There's civil litigation, and I thought there were a number of misconceptions. Most of it from sources I really wouldn't concern myself about, but a couple that I did concern myself about, where there were these authoritative statements about this is what happened.
See, I think that's a dick comment. It's quiet? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here. What do you think? Should I turn the actual volume through my speakers louder, or should I just I'll just turn my desktop audio up a little bit. Hey, you get to see the behind the scenes. How neat. All right, let's give it a shot.
The sheriff's department hasn't even released a report to the DA yet. The reason I wanted to sit down with you is because
Thoughts?
I really feel like I can't wait.
Is that hella loud now?
For that process to fit to an end again.
I apologize if it's hella loud now.
I mean, I'm not asking them to speed it up for my benefit. That's ridiculous. But I am saying that they're going to do what they need to do, and
Wait, I'm waiting for an update. Sorry, I'm having you be my tech assistant. I just have no reference for how it sounds. Still quiet. Bro! I did like nothing, huh? Okay. We're gonna... Okay.
to come to talk to you.
Volume warning.
Well, I would go to any lengths to undo what happened. I would go to any lengths to undo what happened.
I think the big question, and the one
That's
you must
okay,
have asked
okay.
yourself 1,000 times, how could
Okay, so here, there's a comment I want to
There's all
replay.
kinds of civil litigation, and I felt there were
Right
a
here.
number of misconceptions. Most of it from sources I really wouldn't concern myself about, but a couple that I did concern myself about, where there were these authoritative statements about, this is what happened.
Normally, I don't give a fuck about what you little shitheads think, bro. You guys are all garbage. That's how it comes across. He's like, yeah, much better than before. Okay, cool. He's like, yeah, I don't really care what you guys think. Normally, I would just ignore it because I can, because I'm Alec Baldwin. But, you know, and it's like, okay, but for context, dude, you didn't say something controversial. You shot and killed someone. And you're going to say, oh, it wasn't my fault. Regardless, you are the reason that the gun went off and people got killed because of it. And I know that there are political actors who are like memeing on you and shit, and that sucks. That's not fair. But it's not just like he makes it sound like he got caught like shitting his pants outside the gym, and he's like, well, I had to address it. I mean, normally you little tabloids, I don't give a fuck, but now I have to deal with it. It's like, dude, you shot someone. Of course people are going to talk about it. What do you think? We're just all going to be like, oh man, poor Alec Baldwin, that sucks. Like, no, dude, people are going to have different thoughts. Like, oh shit. And for reference, he's a producer on the show. So he's acting in it and he's producing it. So he's directly involved in the creation of the show. So like, there are people who would, I think he would definitely be considered in the people responsible, regardless of the fact that he is the one behind the trigger, which makes, I think, obvious sense. And he's trying to downplay it. Okay.
The sheriff's department hasn't even released a report to the DA yet. The reason I wanted to sit down with you is because I really feel like I can't wait for that process to end in February, March. I mean, I'm not asking them to speed it up for my benefit. That's ridiculous.
DoorDash.
But I am saying that they're going to do what they
Thanks,
need to do.
Amazon.
And I wanted to come to talk to you to say that I would go to any lengths to undo what happened. I would go to any lengths to undo what happened.
That's
I think
nice.
the big question.
That's nice that he would do anything to undo everything. That's cool. That's like the weakest apology tactic ever. I mean, I get it. I've done it. When you fuck up and you're just like, if I could go back, I would undo it. And I'm not saying that's not genuine. I'm sure we all would do that. But that just is kind of like the obligatory statement that you said. That you have to say, like, oh man, it's like, yeah, I don't think anyone is assuming that you did this. It's like, why? How'd the bullet get here? And Alec's like, I have no idea. They're like, huh, he said that kind of funny. Like, I don't think anyone thinks he did this on purpose. Like, although that'd be kind of hype. It comes out that it's all like a big brain plan. He gets like an ace attorney that like busts in and he's like, objection. And he's like, empty your pockets right now. And he pulls out like 2 full rounds, drops them on, and they're like, that's it, Your Honor. And they're like, take him away. And he's like, I almost had the inheritance. That'd be sick. And I'd be down for it. But I don't think that's what's happened. I don't think anyone thought that. Right? Like, there's no way.
And the one you must have asked yourself 1,000 times, how could this have happened?
Well, there's 2 things I want to say about that. One is that when I talk about this, my concern is that I don't sound like I'm the victim.
Okay. I like that. We're not going to sound like the victim. I have a tough time believing he's not going to make himself sound like the victim here. And don't get me wrong, like, he very much could be a victim. And I don't really care about him talking about being a victim if he's a victim. Like, if you're a victim, man, own it. I don't think he is, honestly. Let's see.
Because there is a victim. There's a woman who died. And my friend got shot. He's my friend. And she was a new friend. I met her and we...
You think they're still friends? Sorry. You think they are like, they're eating dinner the next day? And he's like, got his arm in a cast and he's like... And Alec is like, man, what a tough day at work, right? He's like, yeah, Alec, it's fucking hard. Like, it's good soup. And they just move on.
Work together on some of the mapping out of what we're going to do on the film, which, you know, in the movie terms, if you go make a movie with Scorsese, you and the DP don't sit down and they solicit your ideas of how to make the film, you know what I mean? In the case of Halyna, we sat down collaboratively and talked a lot about what we wanted to do in that a precious amount of time we had. But I want to make sure that I don't come across like I'm the victim, because we have 2 victims here. And the second thing is that all of what happened on that day leading up to this event was precipitated on one idea, and that is that Halyna and I had something profound in common. And that is, we both assumed the gun was empty. Other than those, dummy.
I'm not a victim, but me and the person who were killed were wronged. Nice. That's a sick one. Oh my god, I didn't refer to her as my friend. Better say it now. No, that's what I'm saying. Wait. Statement 1. I'm not going to make myself a victim. Statement 2. Me and the woman who were shot were demonstrably wronged. It's like, okay. What about statement 1? What do you mean? No, I said I only have one thing to say. Bro, like what? Why? He's like allying. This is a point the person made. I'll shut. Emily D. Baker does law analysis, but like he's like allying himself with her. Like, I'm on her. Like, it's like, dude, I mean, like, I'm not necessarily saying it's your fault. I mean, I think it's yeah, you gotta check the fucking gun, bro. Like, that's a no-brainer. But like, it seems it's weird to do that after she's passed. It's like, if I was like, yeah, but Abraham Lincoln agrees. I agree with Abraham Lincoln when I say that McDonald's fries are the best. And it's like, well, he's not alive. so we don't know if he shares those feelings. He could be an In-N-Out guy, which is fine. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she and I both were doing this and we're both wronged. It's like, there's a lot of people that were wrong, dude. Like, not just you two. This doesn't affect you. I don't think it affects you as much as it affects her husband or their kid or other people that were closer, right?
I want to get into more detail on the day in a minute, but let's take a step back. What was it that drew you to this project in the first place, to Rust?
I'd worked on a project with Joel before.
Joel Souza, the director.
Right. He did this movie, Crown Vic, that I produced. And Joel and I stayed in touch. We're friends, and I loved Rust. He said, I want to send you this. And I read it, and I said, I love it.
It's like the least important question.
Rust, a low-budget western, tells the...
But why do you like the movie? This just sounds like movie promo. Like, what? They're like, Rust, the movie that will be coming in early 2022, featuring Alec Baldwin, directed by Joel Souza. It's like, what? Are they going to show, like, the trailer for it mid-conversation? Like, why are you doing the movie is the least fucking important. Does all the money go to the victims of people who are shooting victims? That would be a good reason to pull, but I just like the project. Like, what? Unless he's going to try to make the argument that the director of photography was, like, really attached to the work, and so then we both had this mutual love for this project, and it's like, that's... You're producing it. She is getting paid for a job, right? She's hired. It's not the same. You're not in the same spot.
Story of an aging outlaw on the run with his young grandson. Baldwin, the film's star, is also one of the producers.
Very excited, so excited that we finally got this made, because every independent film has many false starts, you know, and when it finally goes, you finally get the feeling of plane, and when you finally get...
Every movie has lots of false shots, false starts. There's lots of false shots, wrong gun trick, false shots in a movie. I think he is super frightened about it and is panicking and saying whatever comes to his mind. I am sure his lawyers are telling him to say and not say some stuff, but he can't control it. I do not think his lawyers told him to do this. I think if his lawyers had any brains in their body, they would be like, do not fucking go on TV and say this shit, because you're going to say things accidentally. So it's pretty clear that he's emotional, and I understand that you can be emotional. Like, I would be emotional, Jesus Christ. But like, when there's still legal fallout that's coming for this. So he's being sued by two of the people on set civilly. He's being sued. It's likely he and the production will be sued by the husband. And then there could potentially be criminal filings for neglectful homicide, right? So like, don't say anything. Why would you say a thing? You are going to get yourself fucked here. I don't know, man.
Some lift under your wings. It's very, very gratifying.
Also, I'm curious what you think about this. And this is not fair to him. Oh God, I'm doing it again. I apologize again if I was fucky with the mic, but That's what I mean, dude. Also wants to lose the money he invested in that movie. Yeah, no, for sure. Like, he has a vested interest in the movie, like, completing. So, okay, do you remember when J Station faked his girlfriend's death, and then he was pumping their second channel after her death to pump up the views? It's kind of, this is a fucked thing to assume, but it's kind of like she was so vested in this project, like she just really wanted it made. She believed in it. Also, it's coming out in early 2022, and don't sue me. Like, what? It's weird that, I don't know if it's just because that was kind of a weird question to ask, but like, that's fucking odd. That's really weird to me. They're like, we have a new director of photography. She's fucking awesome. She worked on Avatar. And they're like, wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. Let's throw it back for the local weather. Okay.
A purely creative producer.
Okay, sorry. God, distracted. But like, okay, if your job is to act for a living, I have a really hard time believing things that you say on TV. Because I can't help but wonder, like, to what degree is this performance, you know? Like, is this how he talks on a regular basis? Like, is this like, obviously he practiced this to some degree. I think he did this in spite of legal advice, because I don't think any lawyer would be like, yeah, go out pissed and say what you're gonna say. But like, I still have a hard time like believing him as a person. It could be because I'm not a huge fan of him to begin with. I always thought he was kind of a dick, but we'll see.
My authorities as a producer are casting and script, which are actually married to the role of being a lead actor in a film.
So you're not the kind of producer who's looking at the line item of each budget?
No.
Wait.
Role of being a lead actor in a film.
So you're not the kind of producer who's...
My authorities as a producer are casting and script, which are actually...
So later in the interview, he says that he's not in charge of hiring decisions, but if he's in charge of casting, is he talking about strictly the cast of the show? Because so one of the people to blame in this is the armorer, who like is the person who'd be in charge of the guns on set. It's obviously her fault in a lot of ways, but like he later claims that he had nothing to do with her hiring. But it's not her fault either, though. But, oh god, I don't even want to spoil it because it's so wild. Let's see. A lot of actors and other movie staff have been shot due to the gun mishaps on movie sets throughout the world. I don't understand how it's still happening. Yeah, it's fucking weird, dude. Especially because, like, CGI is so good now in a lot of ways. Like, you don't have to do it. Like, it's weird to me to have a functional gun on set. Like, you could make a prop gun that just looks real and add in sounds after, and it would probably sound pretty fine. Like, just shoot the gun that you want to use in a soundstage and then create a replica that just has action, right?
Actually married to the role of being a lead actor in a film.
So you're not the kind of producer who's looking at the line item of each...
I feel like he's coming across as kind of... okay, we're 3 minutes in. Jesus, I have a pausing problem. I think I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because I already had this belief about him, but I think he's coming off kind of pretentious.
No.
That right there, I hate that shit. No. It's like, that's fucking... No. It's like you're talking to your, like, child cousin. He's like, hey, candy? He's like, no. He's like, but you accidentally shot the woman. He's like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? And look how angry he looks here, dude. Look at this pause. Look at those brows. He's not stoked, bro.
Basically, two types of...
You have to understand why people are upset with you, right? Like, it's not just, like, unwarranted hate.
Producers who are really in charge of production. People that raise the money and the people who spend the money. My consultations or approvals were completely about casting and about the script. I don't hire anybody in the crew. I don't.
Not even the cinematographer, no one?
No, but he will apprise me of what he's doing. And he'll say to me, I got Halyna Hutchins to be the DP. I said, how do you feel about that? Are you excited? I'm very excited. She's wonderful.
What did you know about Halyna Hutchins before she started working on this?
I knew nothing about her until Joel said to me, I got her. She was fantastic.
Didn't he say they were friends earlier and that they went out to dinner together? He's like, I know her. She's awesome. We're friends. When did you meet her? Literally when we started this movie, like a month ago. I mean, I'm not saying they can't be friends, but like he made it sound like it's like He was at my daughter's piano recital. Like, what? They should have taken the lesson after the Bruce Lee moment. Yeah, for sure. Or, who was that guy that died filming was it The Crow? Oh, that's Brandon Lee, right? That's who you're talking about. Are you talking about Brandon? Wait. Yeah. Yeah, Brandon Lee. Wait, no, is it the... Brandon Lee dies, I'm pretty sure, from this, right? God. I'm pretty sure... Oh, God. Yeah, he died accidentally on the set of The Crow. And that was, I think, from... So they had powder charges which were so in close-up durable or would show normal. However, to remove the powder cartridges at some point, the failed event, one of the rounds had been fired. Although there were no powder cartridges, the energy from the ignited primer was enough to separate a bullet from the casing and push it into the wheelbarrow, which could start. Yeah, so it wasn't even like a round. Like, it wasn't a real round. It was just like a fragment of the blank that got him. Which is pretty crazy. I mean, this was a straight up round. It went through the director of photography and into the director, and it's pretty wild. I remember it as Bruce Lee for some reason. I don't blame you. I believed you. I was like, oh yeah, Bruce Lee, R.I.P. But I remember it as Brandon Lee. Why would you name your son? Whatever. I can't talk. I share a name with my dad.
Halyna Hutchins, the talented cinematographer praised by many in the industry, was a trailblazer in the field historically dominated by men.
Make sure we don't see people walking around like what?
What the heck movie is that?
The Ukrainian-born cinematographer quickly gelled with Baldwin.
The
Mother?
people who watched the daily said that her work would...
Let's see what she's done. This might be sad, but Halyna. That's there. I was right. The Mad Hatter, Rust. Oh, don't put that on there. Okay, so mostly it seems like foreign films. They're spooky in nature. Respect. Journalist who worked on 30 films, short films, 2 miniseries, including Arch Enemy, Darling, and Blindfire. Okay.
was beautiful. She was someone who was loved by everyone who worked with and liked by everyone who worked with and admired. She was someone who was loved by everyone who worked with and liked by everyone who worked with and admired. She was someone who was loved by everyone who worked with and liked by everyone who worked with and admired.
Oh shit. Oh, I didn't do it. Wait. This is kind of mean.
Loved by everyone who
Ready.
worked with and liked by everyone who worked with and admired.
Bruh, that's a little sus.
Sorry.
Yeah, you should be sorry, Alec. Dial it back a little bit. Alright. You just shot her. Why are you crying?
But admired by everybody
I'm sorry.
who worked with her.
Rust's 21-day production began filming on October 6th at the Bonanza Creek Ranch, just outside
Sounds
Santa
like
Fe,
it was
New
not, in
Mexico.
fact, the
The
Bonanza.
ranch has long been a favorite location for filming westerns.
We need a place to lay low.
Oh shit.
Things have a way of escalating out here in the West.
I love that movie.
One thing leading to another.
The day that I flew there, they'd been shooting for a week already. I come the following week on the 11th. That night of the 11th, I had dinner with Halyna and Joel. And we talked about some of the compositions I was thinking of to...
That was the first time you met?
First time I met Halyna, yeah.
Yeah, it has to be a decent bullet to pass through. Yeah, no, I mean, I wonder how close they were together. I wonder if they show it. My friend Halyna Hutchins, who I met a week after the movie started filming. What? Dude, we were friends for that dinner. That dinner was deeply impactful. She would definitely consider me a friend and not an employee.
What was your first impression?
When I met her, I knew she had that spark. I knew she had that flint to her. Don't forget. That she was going to get that day's work done and get the shots that she wanted. She was very focused.
She had a vision for the film?
She was very focused. We had a discussion about compositions of shots in which you were shooting these beautiful tableaus of the West. She had that intensity.
Whoa, look at those cuts.
Every day you went to work, the West.
Look at that cut. That is aggressive.
Compositions of shots in which you were shooting these beautiful tableaus of the West. She had that intensity.
Dude, they hack jobbed that cut. That is like aggressive. They're like, not important. Stay on track. Stop. Dude, oh my god, wait. With what he's saying, it almost sounds like he went into promo mode and they cut it. He's like, no, the movie is filmed so great. There's like these plateaus and it's beautiful cinematography. And they're like, one more time because I love it.
Being these beautiful tableaus of the West. She had that intensity. Every day
that's so aggressive.
Work, she would say, good morning, how are you? How was your evening? Boom. It was small talk, go. We weren't going to hang out and chit-chat or whatever. She knew that the clock was friends. The enemy, and we have to move forward.
Once on set, Baldwin posts this video.
I want to say, I look at myself in the reflection of this, and I'm really kind of appalled. It's appalling. We're here shooting the film. We start tomorrow, and no, I'm not playing Santa Claus. On the 12th, I had a safety demonstration.
So she grew the beard out and then shaved it for the interview. It's like a weird intentional thing to do to me. If I were him, I would have disappeared from the face of the earth and start practicing what to say. And when asked about the incident, yeah, which he kind of did, kind of didn't do.
Armor.
24-year-old Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, seen here in photos by the DailyMail.com, was hired as the film's armorer, in charge of all weapons on set.
She didn't know what she was talking about? What? Color me shocked. Actually, you know what? She seems like she would, actually.
Armorer, Rust was only her second film in this role.
Oh, no, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
She spoke to the Voices of the West podcast about working as lead armorer for her first film before Rust.
I was really nervous about it at first, and I almost didn't take the job because I wasn't sure if I was ready, but doing it, it went really smoothly.
We spent an hour and a half shooting the pistol, her giving me all her safety instructions.
Did you think she was up to the job?
I assumed because she was there and she was hired, she was up for the job.
And nothing she did raised any red flags with you?
No.
Okay. This training course you do, what did she tell you?
She said things like, remember, this is a blank round, so you have to create the discharge yourself because there's no projectile. So if you shot the gun, you go bang.
Okay, that's a...
When we roll the camera, you got to go bang and have the gun go.
That is an intentional misleading answer.
She would give you little tips about firing, and she'd say to you,
when
we're done, put the gun down. When we're done, you give the gun to me or to Halls, only those two people.
Dave Halls
that's so... He did her so dirty.
Also known as the first AD. Seen here in this IMDb photo. He was responsible for keeping the production on schedule.
Here being seen
Sometimes
at a lake.
On a set, there was a very, very
okay, here's why he did her dirty. She gave me a safety course. Okay, what did she talk about in the safety course? She talked about how to make the gunshot more realistic. I'm going to go ahead on a wild limb here and say she also taught you about the safety of firing the gun. I don't think she was just like, yeah, and if you turn it sideways, you got to make the noise yourself, really get into it. No, dude. I'm sure she probably told you the safety of the gun, but he doesn't want to say that she told me all the safety precautions, because some of the safety precautions would obviously include not pointing it at people, not putting your finger on the trigger, not pulling it. He says he didn't pull the trigger. He says he pulled the hammer. I'm assuming it would include don't pull the fucking hammer, or logic should dictate don't pull the hammer. But no, he's like, she told me how to make it look realistic. It's like, like he's not saying that he got the necessary information to use the gun safely. And so he's doing her dirty. How do you make a real gun with a blank more realistic? Yeah, like what? I like to imagine that she's like, welcome to gun safety 101. She's got like a fucking rocket launcher, and she's like, so the gun that doesn't actually fire, so you're gonna have to go by yourself. And they're like, okay, let's do it. And they're like, and they're like, no, they kind of sound a little bit more rockety. Can you do more rocket sounds? And they're like, she's actually just the director of sound, and she's in charge of making their sound effects not sound like shit. But if they're just using their mouths, why do they need real bullets?
And they wanted people in that room on an as-needed basis. If I'm holding the gun and they say cut, I then hand the gun to Halls. If she's
the terror.
Yeah, why Halls, not Hannah? Some people have said that only the armorer should be handling
No. That's
No. Every time he does that, it pisses me off a little bit more. Hello. We have a guest critic. Hello. You want to purr directly into the mic? Welcome to my cat ASMR. Yeah, just lay down. Lay down, you butt. Lay down. I'm gonna alinity you real fast. You're gonna get alinitied. Do you know what I mean when I say alinity? Oh shit! Wait, she got banned for it. I'm not showing it. She fucking yeeted her cat.
accurate, meaning in the protocols of the business, meaning Hannah would to hand me the gun 99% of the time, whatever, the preponderance of the time. But when we would say cut, if Hannah was away from the set, I would hand Halls the gun.
99% of the time I'd hand it to her, but sometimes I would hand it to him. It's like, damn, bro. That's like a lot of percent that you're talking about. 99.999% of the time I would hand it to her. Unless she was busy. Then I just fucking lobbed it to Hal. Hey, Hal, heads up, cold gun. Like, what, bro? He keeps contradicting himself so hard. He's like, we were friends. And like, you met the day. She's like, yeah. He's like, she didn't, I only handed it to her and him. Like, dude, what? What are you doing? Dude, his lawyers are screaming. They're like, shut the fuck up. They're like, God damn. Bro, she looks badass, bro. But you know what's funny? Even in the picture, she doesn't have her fingers on the trigger. Yeah?
Reed had a dual role on set, armorer, and she was also the assistant prop
She's also in charge of upside down letters.
master for the film. One of the things her attorney has said is that she was hired for 2 positions on the film and therefore was stretched in an inappropriate way. Did she raise any of those concerns with you?
No, I assume that everyone who's shooting a lower budget film is stretched, myself included.
Yeah, I think that's
and
fine.
I got no complaints from her or the prop department. I'm not sitting there when I'm getting dressed and ready to go do a scene saying, oh my God, the prop woman seemed very harried today. I didn't get...
Ugh, I don't know why his means of communication bothers me. Like right there, he's saying, I'm a big actor and I couldn't possibly give a fuck about the people on set. And the way that he says it is really gross. I gave it to the guy in the hoodies, and the next time I shot it, it happened to have a bullet in it. I have no clue how did this tragedy happen. Yeah, I handed it to the bad guy in the movie, the bandito, who wore all black and a ski mask. He handed it back and the gun fired. I don't know what happened. He kept rubbing his hands together and going, yeah, but it didn't seem weird to me at the time. Like, what the fuck, bro? This guy is not keeping track of his shit. Okay.
No, I assume
Listen
that
to this,
everyone who's shooting a lower budget film is stretched.
I'm fine with
myself
that.
Included.
Yep.
And I got no complaints from her or the prop department. I'm not sitting there when I'm getting dressed and ready to go do a scene saying, oh my God, the prop woman seemed very harried today. I didn't get a sense of that from any of the people on.
No. He didn't say he didn't get a sense for it. He said, I don't do that. Well, he said, I don't do that, and then I don't get a sense for it. Well, yeah, if you don't do it, you're not going to get a sense for it. If you're not looking out for people's interest, you're not, like, if you're not actively doing that, then obviously you're not going to fucking notice it, dude. That's like being like, I'm playing Where's Waldo, but I'm not going to look in the book. I can't seem to find Waldo, and you have the fucking book closed over there. It's like, obviously you're not going to fucking find Waldo because you're not looking in the goddamn book. Like, what? Sorry if I'm swearing more than usual. It's so silly. Like, I think he sounds like a complete fucking asshole right there in his tone.
Is stretched, myself included.
One more time.
And I got no complaints from her or the prop department. I'm not sitting there when I'm getting dressed and ready to go do a scene saying, oh my God, the prop woman seemed very harried today.
That little head tilt with the
I didn't get a
toss.
sense of that from
It's
any
really
of
demeaning.
the people on the film.
In
The
my
first
opinion.
time I heard that there was any problem with anybody in the crew of the film was when Luber said, well, we have some issues here.
Lane Looper, the first camera assistant, would email
Poor
production
Luber. He was
managers
not ready
a
for the shot.
resignation letter later that
He was
night,
not aware this was going to be
citing
used.
safety concerns. Quote, during the filming of gunfights on this job, things are often played very fast and loose. So far, there have been 2 accidental weapons discharges.
Oh, there was
He also wrote
2?
about concerns about reasonable rest and housing for local crew with long commutes to the set.
When he quit, now the day before.
I had no idea this was going on until he told me that it was dangerous and that it shouldn't be happening. When I didn't change anything so he quit, I found out the hard way. Like, what? Bro, he told you. You knew. He knew. Even if he didn't look at the haggard plebeian piece of shits who were filming his movie, he got a report to a degree that people were quitting over it. And he was like, that's just how it goes, bro. So what? We shoot a couple fucking gaffers. We can always get some more. Like, what? Dude, that's fucking psycho. That's actually crazy.
Before that happened, we wrapped. And he came up to me and he said, thank you for the position you've taken on behalf of IATSE and the union on social media. I said, my pleasure.
This photo, posted by Halyna, showed the cast and crew in solidarity with IATSE, the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, which had been on the verge of a strike. And Alec posted this on Instagram.
And I want to say to the people in IATSE, do what you need to do. You want to go on strike? Go on strike.
He's like, he's like scrolling through the fucking, he's like, go on strike, bitch. See what happens. Go on strike, bro. And they're like, in the weird video, he posted him loading a gun with quote unquote blanks.
Because I'll tell you something about the executives.
Bro, look at
They
those
don't give a
views.
about you. He said, because we have some issues here.
Dude, that's
People in IATSE, do what you need to do. You want to go on strike? Go on strike. Because I'll tell you something about the executives. They don't give a about you.
You're an executive. You're a producer of this movie. He's a producer. That's like when your boss is like, guys, doesn't it suck here? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, don't say that. Like, if you have a problem, you can talk to me in person. It's like, bro, you're fucking narking on yourself, bro. He's like, he wants to be a victim so bad, which contradicts his earlier statement where he's like, I'm not a victim. This happened to me. But also, I'm one of them. I'm a gaffer. It's like, dude, you're not a fucking gaffer. Calm down.
He said, because we have some issues here. I said, such as? And he said, my men need a better hotel room. There was no mention of safety issues.
He didn't say anything about the accidental discharges on set?
He didn't say anything about anything. He goes, my men need better hotel rooms. I said, well, we're leaving, we're wrapping. Will you be here tomorrow? He said, yes. Because what I was about to do, which I've done on any number of films and TV projects, was to give more of my salary back to the production to pay for X. And I was about to say to him,
See,
let me
look
know
how
what it would be
angry,
to
like-
B&B you guys in a house that's closer to the, how we
Look
can
at those
address
bags,
your
bro.
problem.
Those are I
will
just
be happy to
accidentally shot
contribute
someone, and now
to
they don't
that.
want to deal
The
with
next
the
day they were
bags.
gone.
So you had no sense from anyone on the set
He
that
is
people had been
scared
stretched to the
shitless.
point where safety was compromised?
No. I never heard one word about that. None.
Rush producers told ABC News Mr. Looper's allegations are unbudgeted.
See, when he's talking, when he's saying no to something that could be used against him, he's like, no. But when it's like something that he thinks is not important, he's like, no. Shh. You want candy? Shh. Little lemon. Like, it's very clear. He's trying to be legally consistent and not get things, but he's also really inconsistent in just how he approaches it, dude.
And safety are patently false, which is not surprising, considering his job was to be a camera operator, and he had absolutely nothing to do with or knowledge of safety protocols or budgets. Safety is always the #1 priority on our films.
When people say cutting costs, I don't say this with any judgment or any cynicism. Spielberg wants to save money. Tom Cruise wants to save money. Everybody who makes movies has a responsibility not to be.
I mean, that's fine. That's a fine
reckless
statement.
and
Like,
careless
they
with the
obviously
money
don't want
that
to
you're
lose
given.
money.
You know, those are men who make movies that cost $205 million. And I'm making movies that cost $5 million.
He's like, my movies are cheap. Of course, a couple people are gonna get shot. Okay, what do you expect me to do? Hire some people so people don't get shot? I don't have $250 million to make sure people don't get shot. Okay, I only have 5. If I had $1 million, 2 people would have been shot. Like, what the fuck, man? The cost of your film should not determine how many people get shot. People make movies for free and no one gets shot. So excusing cost cutting as a reason why people got shot is a little disingenuous, all right?
The question, though, is were costs being cut at the expense of safety?
Yes, right.
In my opinion, no, because
No. It's not a matter of opinion. It's not a matter of opinion. Either happened or it didn't. You openly admitted that people are stretched thin already, which I think is fine. But there are certain jobs that can be stretched thin and certain ones that can't. The person in charge of making sure people don't get shot should not be stressed and work thin. She's like, God, it is so hard to keep you guys from shooting each other. And Alec Baldwin's like, whoop, whoop, pow, pow. And you're like, Alec! The cost is going over the budget, so I... Exactly. They were like, God, this is getting expensive. What do you do? She's like, I make sure I kind of... She's like, I know where to be. Go ahead, stand right there. Pulls it out of his pocket. If only I was Spielberg. Like, dude, no way I did that. That is such a fucked logic train.
I did not observe
sorry, I'm too close to the mic.
any safety or security issues at all in the time I was there.
Thursday,
Some of these
October
cuts are
21st,
fucking
Baldwin
hard.
posts a photo of himself in costume on Instagram. Back to in person at the office. Blimey, it's exhausting. That morning, Looper and 6 other crew members walked off the set. Filming continued with a replacement camera crew. Scene 118 in the church.
Well, the problem is that they're forced to film upside down. That just seems unrealistic. How are they supposed to film upside down like that?
Slated for after lunch.
Everybody there was having a positive experience. People who are watching the show, people who are back home, you have no idea.
If
how
people are
unique
quitting,
an
they're probably not
environment
having a
motion
positive
picture set
experience. If
is.
people are getting shot,
It's
they're
kind of
probably
this
not having a
instant
positive experience.
familiarity.
I'm gonna push
The
back
amount
on
of
that
care.
comment,
These
Alec.
are people who are professionals who have really good jobs in a field they love. And I looked at all these people and I see how hard they work. They're so hardworking and they're so conscientious. And you're around people and you're part of.
I kind of want to have... I wish I had a soundboard. Okay. This is going to be my pause.
One of the great collaborative processes in the world, movie making. Everyone moving like a watch to get everything done, and when you kind of, I don't
Everyone
make that many
moving to
movies
not
anymore.
get shot as I
Because
aim
movie
guns at
making
them.
demanded that I travel.
Gotta be quicker than that,
And I didn't
alright?
want
You
to
got a
leave my
Matrix.
family.
I don't have $250 million, all
I didn't want
right?
to go. If I went away for a week. To leave my family for 4 weeks and go shoot this movie, that was a big deal. And I'm sitting on this pew.
You don't understand. I really miss my family. Yeah, you know who else misses their family? The husband and son of the woman who got shot. Like, what the fuck? You don't understand how hard it was for me. It was so hard being there for 4 weeks. When I came home to my 60 by 60 shower after shooting that woman, I cried for days with my wife and kids all in the shower together. Like, what, bro? You know who's not? You know who had a worse time than you? Rewind time to when he fucking said, I'm not the victim here. I'm not the victim here. But I was having a really tough time, all right? All right? It was hard for me. All those other pieces of shit, I don't care if they're haggard and tired, bro. Jesus, it's hard work. Me, though, I was having a hard time. The person who seeks to benefit the most from this, well, meanwhile no one else is doing well, like, yeah, fuck
And
off,
so
dude.
help me God. I sat on that pew right before they called lunch, and I said, this movie has made me love making movies again.
Oh, you. I need the imposter sound and the emergency meeting sound. That was more of an imposter sound. I just was burnt out from my work, and shooting that woman has made me remind me why I love filmmaking. They're like, weird coincidence. Alec Baldwin has shot 40 different directors of photography throughout his career, and we're just now finding out about it.
Because I used to love to make movies. I did. You know, I worked with people once. I was going to do the movie The Edge. And they called me and said they got Tony Hopkins to do the film. What are you making it?
Yeah, looking for you here.
And I started sobbing. I just started sobbing because I thought, oh God, I'm gonna have a chance to work with this guy.
Any chance you will go easy on me?
What the fuck is this? Why the fuck are we getting his filmography? That doesn't fucking matter. It just means nothing. Like, what? Why are we getting Alec Baldwin's greatest hits? Imagine if I fucking went to a gas station and shot the clerk, and in my trial they were like, I was like, yeah, I used to be really into soccer, and it just flashes to me like scoring goals. It's like this kid just look. I remember when I first lost my love for soccer, and it's like me missing the goal and being like, it's like, dude, that doesn't fucking. They're like, how is that relevant, dude? You're being interviewed because you shot someone. Also, I don't really want to show this, just in case.
Have your dreams of people you want to work with, and this movie made me love making movies again.
It's so
I
gross.
really thought we were onto something.
Next.
She goes down. I thought to myself, did she faint?
I thought to myself, damn boy, I'm a good shot. Bah, bah. It's like, James Wills Booth ain't got shit on me, boy. Bah. Alright, part 2. We're almost done. We'll go back to the tier list in a second. Oh yeah, that's what we gotta do next. We're just gonna get me canceled instantly. That's fun. It was him!
It was the 12th day of their 21-day shoot.
That day, I did exactly what I've done every day on that movie.
Fired my gun randomly. I started up, got my morning coffee, loaded my morning live round, fired it into the air so I could receive ecstasy, and then I continued my day.
Baldwin was preparing for his next scene, a shootout inside this wooden church.
Bro,
Set
that
the
chorus
scene
was
right
hitting
before
different.
that happened. You're sitting in a pew in the church.
Right.
What's the scene supposed to be?
The scene is the two guys are there who have got me.
What are you doing, step pastor? This is a dark joke to make in the context of what we're talking about. I'm sorry. My brain is off.
And they think I'm shot pretty bad, and I'm kind of wilting, and they have a gun, and the sound outside distracts them, and I then draw the gun draw out of my holster, pull the gun up like that, and start to cock the pistol. Cut. I'm handed a gun, and someone declares, they said, "This is a cold gun."
Dave Halls?
The first AD. In my years on the
So
sets of
he's
film,
named
hot
him.
gun meant that there was a charge in there, and cold gun meant there was nothing in there. When he's saying this is a cold gun, what he's saying to everybody on the set is, you can relax.
No.
The gun is empty.
That's what cold gun mean.
Yes, thank you. What's his name? What's his name? George Garofalophagus looks like? Whatever the fuck this guy... What's this guy's name? What's this guy's name? George Stephanopoulos? Okay, tell me he doesn't look like this guy. I do love that guy. Okay. Wait, that's the Among Us soundbite. Yeah? Yeah? How old is Alec? And how long has he been acting? Too fucking long. That's a good question. Let's see. '63. So 40 years. Yeah, he should fucking know not to do that. But like, I'm sorry, it really distracts me. Emergency meeting over whether or not Steve Garofalopoulos looks like. Wait, there's 3 parts.
I'm
not
charged.
joking.
There could be dummy rounds.
Hey, no. Dummy round looks like a real bullet, but it's completely inert. It contains no explosive charge. And you were rehearsing that scene. Was it an actual rehearsal? There's some disagreement about that, whether it was a formal rehearsal at that time.
This is a marking rehearsal where I'm going to show her. She's standing next to the camera.
Why did they have the gun on the marking rehearsal? Hold on, I'm gonna shut my door real quick. Here's a Pupperina who's charging it out. Oh. We're good. Okay.
This, you or me. She's got a monitor here. The camera is here filming that way. She takes a monitor that is his monitor, the operator, and turns it toward her. It swivels, and she says to me, "Hold the gun lower. Go to your right. Okay, right there. All right, do that. Now show it a little bit lower." And she's getting me to position the gun. Everything is in her direction. She's guiding me through how she wants me to hold the gun for this angle.
Why does he have the
draw
actual gun
out,
for
and
it?
I find a mark, I draw the gun out, I find a cut. And what's really urgent is the gun wasn't meant to be fired in that angle.
So if you're shooting directly into
So why do you
the camera
have it?
lens, you're not aiming.
I'm not
at her.
shooting to the camera lens. I'm shooting just off.
Just off.
Right, in her direction.
Look how
I'm
angry he
holding
is,
the
dude.
gun where she told me to hold it, which ended up being aimed right in below her armpit, was what I was told. I don't know. This was a completely incidental shot, an angle that may not have ended up in the film at all. But we kept doing this, and so then I said to her, "Now in this scene, I'm going to cock the gun." And I said, "Do you want to see that?" And she said, "Yes." So I take the gun and I start to cock the gun. I'm not going to pull the trigger. I said, "Do you see that?" She goes, "Well, just cheat it down and tilt it down a little bit like that." And I cock the gun and I go, "Can you?"
This troglodyte who has been acting for 40 years is saying that the guy gave him a gun, saying it's a cold gun, and he didn't check all the rounds. Those small facial reactions are like eye candy for journalists. I can see them giggling inside. Yeah, dude, like, he literally looks like someone, like, like he works at, like, Arby's. He looks at, like, a chain restaurant where they tell you to be happy, but he just got hit in the shins by a child outside. He's like, "Hey guys, welcome to fucking Fridays. Do you like a fucking drink?" Like, and within the context that he's talking about the fact that he shot her, it's a little fucking odd. Like, you probably shouldn't be this, like how about some remorse?
See that? Can you see that? Can you see that? And she says, and then I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off.
Who could have fucking guessed? I fucking pulled back the hammer and I let it go and then it fired and she died. What do you want? What you want? You want attention. Not right now, meow meow. Not right now, bruh. I'm doing stuff. I'm
I
working.
let go of the handle of the gun goes off.
At the moment. The decisive
That was the moment the gun went
Crazy.
off.
As soon as they activated the mechanism that fires the round fired. Who could have guessed?
For the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger.
No, I just let the hammer go,
I
which
would
is
never
what pulling the
point a gun
trigger
at it
does.
when I pull a trigger.
Dumbass.
Never. That was the training that I had. You don't point a gun at me and pull the trigger. On day one of my instruction in this business, people said to me, never take a gun and go click, 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 because even though it's incremental, you damage the firing pin on the gun if you do that. Don't do that.
And Hall's attorney told
He was doing that. He got told he had to do that. They're like, Alec, please fucking stop firing the gun. He's like, what? They're like, Alec, you really need to stop. He's like, what? What do you mean? I don't see the problem. And they're like, it actually hurts the gun. And he's just like, really? Like cycling through the rounds. Oh my god.
That he was watching and agrees that Alec did not pull the trigger and that his finger was outside the trigger guard.
It doesn't matter
it's
if
called
you
45.
pull the
You just
hammer back. That's what pulling the
The
fucking
hammer as
trigger
far
does.
back as I go
ding
without
dong.
cocking the actual
And you're holding onto the hammer.
I'm holding that. I'm just showing. I go, how about that? Does that work? Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you see that? She goes, yeah, that's good. I let go of the hammer. Bang, the gun goes off. Well, everyone is horrified. They're shocked. It's loud. They don't have their earplugs in. No one was. The gun was supposed to be empty.
Why
I was
is the
told
gun
I was
there?
handed an empty gun.
You shouldn't have been handed a gun.
Cosmetic rounds,
Shouldn't have had
nothing
the
with a
gun.
charge at
Wasn't
all,
necessary.
flash
Give him one of the
round,
fucking
nothing.
Kmart
She goes
ones with the
down.
little plastic poppers.
I thought to myself, did she faint?
Bullshit.
The notion that there was a live round in that gun
Absolute bullshit.
did not dawn on me till probably 45 minutes to an hour.
Cat.
45 minutes to an hour.
Well, she's laying there and I go, did she get it by wadding? Was there a blank? Sometimes those blank rounds have a wadding inside.
You know that thing,
packs, it's
like-
like a cloth.
Dude,
that packs the
horse
gunpowder
shit.
in.
So I would believe that he didn't believe she was shot if it was the wadding. But he said earlier it got explained to him that he has to do the recoil of the gun because the gun isn't going to recoil because they're using blanks, right? He said that. She said, you have to do the because it's not really loaded. But he fired a real round, meaning that there would have been recoil, right? So to say he didn't know he shot it. Oh shoot, it's easy. It's harder to get to when it's. What the fuck is this? I'm sorry. Wait. Wow, it's really spread out. What if I speed it up to 2? 1 hour of silence occasionally broken up by vine boughs. Why? But why is it that? Can you explain to me? The fuck?
Sometimes wadding comes out and can hit people and it can feel like a little bit of a poke. But no one could understand. Did she have a heart attack? Because remember,
No one? Dude, she had a hole in her. What do you mean?
idea that someone put a live bullet in the gun was not even in reality.
Did you go up to her or did you back
I went
away?
up to her and then we were immediately told to get out of the building. We were forced to get out of the building. The medics came in. I mean, I stood over her for 60 seconds.
It's a minute.
And she just lay there kind of in shock.
Was she conscious?
My recollection is yes.
911, what's the location of your emergency? We need an ambulance out at Bonanza Creek Ranch right now. We've got 2 people shot on a movie set accidentally. I'll connect you with medical dispatcher. Don't hang up.
Director Joel Souza is also wounded. His shoulder hit by the same bullet that traveled through Halyna.
When
Dang,
she
bro,
went
it's
down, he
collateral.
went down and he was screaming really loudly. And I thought, but what is he screaming? What happened?
You pussy, come on. You just got the after shot, bro. What are you talking about? Breaking news, Alec Baldwin's a sussy baka. I agree he's a sussy baka, dude. What the hell? Breaking news, Alec Baldwin calls director a pussy for wincing after getting shot.
He went down and he was screaming really loudly. And I thought, but what is he screaming? What happened?
So was it loaded with a real bullet or one?
So is he just like the
I
dumbest
cannot
motherfucker
tell you that.
alive? Is that the moral
We
of
have 2
this?
injuries from a movie gun shot. Okay, we're getting them out there already. Just stay on the phone with me.
Cat.
Thank you.
Within 15 minutes or 20 minutes after that, the
Bro,
police
you're
arrived
gonna
and
need so hard.
took the church set and put the crime tape around it, the yellow tape, and forced us all to the perimeters of the parking area.
Oh my god. This animal.
We sat and waited. She was in the church, and she was not taken
Don't
out
you
of
do
the
it.
church
You do
for
this
quite
again,
a
you're
while.
gone.
In the aftermath, there was chaos and confusion.
Yeah, seems like he's the dumbest
But nobody
motherfucker.
told
Yeah,
you what
dude.
happened?
No.
He's like, I didn't even know she got shot till you said that at the beginning of this interview. She got shot? This is news to me.
Until I was in the police station. Hours later, I mean, it was like seeing aliens. It was utter disbelief over the idea. It was unacceptable, the idea that it was a live round. And finally, one of the police officers, at the conclusion of my interview, I was there for like an hour and a half or so, she takes her phone and she slides it across to me. She says, "That's what came out of Joel's shoulder. A .45 caliber slug. It was a real bullet."
Had you known that Joel had been hit?
No one had any idea until that police officer, that sheriff's officer, said to me, "This is the slug, .45 caliber slug they took out of Joel's."
It's blatantly false, right? I mean, the lady that called 911 was aware that 2 people were shot. So at the very least, the people who were there knew what was going on. I mean, that's blatantly false.
Arm.
This is not correct.
And then the kind of insanity-inducing agony of thinking that someone put a live bullet in the gun.
This is Alec Baldwin unscripted. It should be Alec Baldwin probably should have been scripted. Because he's saying wild shit. Is this...
Tonight, breaking news.
A fatal shooting on the set of Alec Baldwin's new movie in New Mexico.
Something went horribly wrong here in Santa Fe.
So he's very upset, but look how upset he is that his friend randomly had a heart attack on set. Nothing this guy says is accurate. He's like, I didn't know until an hour later at the police station when the police officer slid me the fucking picture of the bullet. And it's like, damn, he really had no idea. But when was this taken? What?
We've all seen that picture of you off the set.
Yeah, when was
in
this?
that hour or so after the gun went off. What were you doing? What was going through your mind?
At the end of...
Hold up, my cat is trying to eat some random shit. Cat! Do not do this! She's banned. Alright, she's banned from chat. Okay.
She was laying there, and she was there for a while. I was amazed at how long they didn't get her in a car and get her out, but they waited and a helicopter came. And by the time the helicopter took off with her and literally lifted off, we were all glued to that process.
The police officers then casually set up a table and slid me the picture of the bullet that they removed from the director on site.
Us outside. When she finally left, I don't know how long it was she was there, 30 minutes, 40 minutes? It seemed like a very long time. But they kept saying, well, she's stable. Like nobody, just as you disbelieved that there was a live round in the gun, you disbelieved that this was going to be a fatal accident.
So you didn't know exactly how serious it was?
At the very end of my interview with the sheriff's department, they said to me, "We regret to tell you that she didn't make it, she died." They told me right then and there. And that's when I went in the parking lot and called my wife to talk to my wife.
Shock and grief. Halyna's husband, Matthew, posted a tribute to Halyna. Halyna inspired us all with her passion and vision, and her legacy is too meaningful to encapsulate in words. Our loss is enormous.
But you don't understand. Alec was having a really hard time. He was gone for 4 weeks. You don't understand how hard it is being Alec Baldwin when you have to be away for 4 weeks, dude. I think she would have survived that if they were in a city instead of in the middle of nowhere with Alec Dumbfuck Baldwin. I agree. The hardest part about shooting a film with Alec Baldwin is that he's got the fastest motherfucking hands in the West. Apparently. Like, dude, Yeah, I mean, well, he says 30 to 40 minutes. I feel like that's probably an exaggeration, but still. That's when I called my wife, "Hi, honey. I landed the shot. My practice paid off." He's like, "Honey, ladies and gentlemen," and you hear the music. "I thought we had it all together." And he's like, "We got him." It's like, "Yeah." And he's going ham. He's like, "Yeah, fuck that bitch." That movie sucked. Now we can go to dinner.
When this happened, her husband comes to town. Her husband, Matthew. And I met with him and their son. And he was as kind as you could be.
You're a sick hat.
What can you possibly say to him?
I didn't know what to say. He hugged me and he goes, I suppose you and I are going to go through this together, he said. And I thought, well, not as much as you are, you know. And his little boy is there who's 9 years old.
She didn't mean shit to me, bro.
I have 6
Obviously, I shot her.
kids now. I have my older daughter, Ireland, but of the 6 kids that he lost.
Obviously, I induced her to have a heart attack. Like, what? We are so horrible people making fun of a tragedy. I'm not making fun of the tragedy. I'm making fun of this fucking idiot. Like, I think it's absolutely horrendous that he did this. And I think that him covering his ass is a laughable tragedy in itself. So I have absolute sympathy for her. I think that he was reckless. I think that he was cutting corners, and because of it, she ultimately was the victim of his negligence. Like, without a doubt. Her husband came to town. I fear he might knock me out. So I hired security. So that's when we decided to actually stop filming. We had recontinued. We fired the arms director and hired Kevin, the guy who owns the property, and he was marching the guns. He likes guns. He's cool. He's a cool guy.
My oldest is 8. I have a 9-month-old baby. And I think to myself, this little boy doesn't have a mother anymore.
Because of me.
And I know that in my life, I'm with my kids, and I'm doing quite well with my kids. My kids and I are having a great time, right until my wife walks in the room. And then I become invisible. My kids all go and they...
bitch wife. I have kids until my bitch wife comes in the room. Like, what? Dude, why?
Their mother. And this boy doesn't have a mother anymore.
Because of you.
And there's nothing we can do to bring her back.
Right.
And I told him, I said, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to convey to you how sorry I am and how I'm willing to do anything I can to cooperate.
Cut.
In the aftermath of the shooting, a torrent of criticism.
You have a 9-month-old baby. Damn, bro, that's interesting. But I still can't find who the fuck asked. Yeah. He's like, dude, my kids are fucking sick. My kids have a dad. My kids have a mom. I was making fun of the shithead kid for not having a mom. Like my kids, who are awesome.
You should have known that an AD handing you a gun and saying it's cold isn't the same as several people showing you an empty gun.
Yeah. If I were holding that gun, I would have checked it. Wouldn't you?
Right. What the fuck?
People said to me, I got countless people online saying,
I'm mad,
you idiot, you never point a gun at someone. Well, unless you're told it's empty, and it's the director of photography who's instructing you on how
now,
to
even
angle
then,
for a shot.
even then you don't. I eat corn, fire guns, and hate my wife. Yeah.
Where we both thought it was empty, and...
If you've ever been in a gun store, dude, like, even if it's, like, in the fucking box, like, even if it's in display with every safety measure on it, those motherfuckers will kick you out if you point that at someone. Like, bullshit. He's like, they tell you can point it at people as long as there's no bullets. Nah, dude. The rule is you assume that it's loaded because the consequences are so severe, obviously. Like, that's not how that works, bro. He's full of shit. It's unreal.
And that's not her responsibility. That's not my responsibility. Whose responsibility remains to be seen.
It's your responsibility because
There
it's
are
in your
some
hands.
who say you're never supposed to point a gun at anyone on a set, no matter what.
Unless the person is the cinematographer who's directing me where to point the gun for her camera angle.
Dude, look at that anger, bro.
That's exactly what happened. That day, I did exactly what I've done.
Like,
every
he's
day
like
on
vehemently
that
angry.
Which is what?
which is that there's an armorer there, and that word is new to me. In the years I've been in this
What did you
business,
call it?
It was a prop guy or woman. And the prop person would come, and sometimes they would insist on demonstrating for you and the camera crew. They take the gun. If it was a contemporary gun, they show you the chamber. They show you the.
I really don't get why they're using real guns still.
Thank you.
Like, you just make a fucking prop gun. It's pretty crazy.
In the 40 years,
sometimes that would happen, not all the time.
Well, but no. Sometimes they wouldn't demonstrate to me. Some insisted on demonstrating. They would do the demonstration for everybody there right before we rolled the camera, or rehearsed. Then there were others who they didn't do that because I trusted them to do the job. And again, this is not just me pointing.
Stop showing his fucking acting reel.
Well, I've gotten shot and killed in films before where people had to shoot a flash round at me, and I trusted them to do their job. And in the 40 years I've been in this business, all the way up until that day, I never had a problem.
How many times do you think you handled a gun in those 40 years?
Oh, God, I don't know. I don't know.
So I get that he was told it's a cold gun, but I feel like most people would still give it the look around, you know? Like, because cold gun means nothing in it. Cold gun means absolutely nothing. Cold gun means no blanks because there's like the firing that can come from it. Like, cold gun means it's empty. Even then, you don't point a cold gun at someone. And I feel like if you are given a cold gun, the first thing, especially if it's a revolver, that's the easiest thing to check in the world, bro. Like, what? Bro, he is like, unless the gun person says it's empty, unless the photography asks you to. I know, everyone's at fault except for me. That's what it's boiling down.
How many bullets, how many rounds of bullets do you believe have been fired on the sets of movies and TV shows in the last 75 years?
No idea.
Right. You couldn't even be above a billion.
His dramatic punctuation. 25
You've had
years.
hundreds and hundreds of millions of bullets fired on the sets of films and TV shows, and 4 or 5 people were killed. Now those deaths are
not anyone's fault. Those 4 or 5 deaths, those 4 or 5 insignificant little deaths, are no one's fault. Who are we gonna blame? The people shooting the guns? Hell no, bro. It's no one's fault. That's show business, baby. Like, what the fuck?
Tragic and abhorrent. And believe me, I would do anything in my power. I would do anything in my power,
bro,
to undo what was
it
done.
Sounds like
I don't know how that bullet arrived in that.
Ooh, that was a good cut. They weren't having his bullshit right there. That was a good one. I like that one. Yeah, like what? Okay, watch this cut. He played his crying spell card, and we reflected it with a no magic trap card right here. Ready?
I would do anything in my power to undo what was
Ready?
done. That I don't know how that bullet arrived in that gun. I don't know. That I don't know how that. Do
Holy
anything
shit!
In my power to undo what was done. That I don't know how that bullet. I would do.
That is aggressive. That is aggressive. He started the woe is me bullshit being like, if I was a time lord, if only I had finished my equation, I would go back in time and undo me massacring this poor woman. But I was 2 digits off and I'm not capable. And they were like, Wait. Okay, what's the timing on this?
Do anything in my power to undo what was done. That I don't know how that bullet.
So it's at 5:50. Okay.
I would do anything in my power to undo what was done. That I don't know how that bullet arrived in that gun. I don't know.
Bro.
But I'm all for doing anything that will take us to a place where this is less likely to happen again.
Every single time I'm handing a gun on a set. Every time, Mark. They hand me a gun, I look at it, I open it, I show it to the person I'm pointing it to, we show it to the crew. Every single take, you hand it back to the armor when you're done, you do it again. Right. Everyone does it. Everybody knows it.
How do you respond
Except
to
Alec
actors
Baldwin.
like George Clooney who say that every time they were handed a gun, they checked it themselves?
Well, there were a lot of people who felt it necessary to contribute some comment to the situation, which really didn't help the situation.
They should just shut the fuck up. They're not helping, all right? I'm trying to get out of trouble here, and they're not helping, all right? So they should shut the fuck up. They're making me sound dumb, so I'm getting in trouble. There's lots of people saying lots of things that don't help me, so they need to shut the fuck up. Lamau, only if it is the Force was with me that day. Exactly, dude. Like he's like, if only I had momentarily gained the powers of the Flash and people would shut the fuck up, I would not be here today. All right.
At all. You have if your protocol is you check the gun every time. Well, good for you. Good for you. I mean, I probably
good for you. You think we have time for that on Rust? Hell no, bro. We fucking we're nerds, fucking losers. Think we have the time to check the gun, bro? Hell no, bro. We little bitch. Okay, you check the gun every time. Like what? What do you mean? Why is he like? Oh, you have your procedure. Oh, you check the gun? Yeah, I remember when I did that. Damn, bro. What is this guy saying?
Handled weapons as much as any other actor in films with an average career. Again, shooting or being shot by someone. And in that time, I had a protocol, and it never let me down.
Why did you choose in your 40 years not to check the gun yourself?
What I was taught by someone years ago was, as I said, if I took a gun, and I popped a clip out of a gun, or I manipulated the chamber of a gun, they would take the gun away from me and redo it. The prop person said, don't do that, when I was young. And they'd say, one thing you would need to understand is we don't want the actor to be the last line of defense against a catastrophic breach of safety with the gun. My job, they told me, man or woman, my job is to make sure the gun is safe, and then I hand you the gun and I declare the gun safe. The crew's not relying on you to say that it's safe. They're relying on me to say that it's safe. When that person who was charged with that job handed me the weapon, I trusted them, and I never had a problem.
And this was from the beginning of your career?
From day one. There's one person that's supposed to make sure that...
Yeah, these cuts are fucking insane, dude. They hack-pieced this interview. I wonder why. I wonder if he just kind of trails. So he's avoiding a lot of the questions and just kind of answering with, it's not my fucking fault. Oh, that's what we should watch.
Is in the gun is right, and that is what's wrong is not in the gun.
That will legit
one person has that.
I don't think this is a hot take.
The gun.
What is the actor's responsibility?
This is a good question.
I guess that's a tough question, because the actor's responsibility going this day forward is very different than it was the day before that.
Bro, I'm a trendsetter, okay? Before me, no one checked the gun. Now everyone was gonna do it, bro. Because I put, like, what? I mean, really, you should be thanking me, okay? Really? Like, without me, bro, look what happened. What the fuck is that comment? Going forward, here's my address. I'm waiting for my medal.
Yeah, now I can't. First of all, I can't imagine I'd ever do a movie that had a gun in it again.
Good. You should probably just never make a movie ever again. You fucking idiot.
I can't. When you say what is the actor's responsibility, the actor's responsibility is to do what the prop armorer tells him to do. And we did not have a...
All right, the prop master says to go on your Twitter and to tweet the N-word. You just got to do it. Them's the rules, all right? He says it goes. You just can't use your brain at all. It's not like you're a producer of the show. The actor's responsibility is to not care about anyone's opinion. Yeah, the actor's job is to be like, fuck these little kids, bro. They don't know what they're talking about. I'm Alec motherfucking Baldwin.
A problem. I mean, I understand there was
especially
an accidental
not
discharge at one point on the set of a blank round.
He's like, this. I don't listen to no females, all right? I know this gun's fine. Damn,
for me, until that day, everything gets slowed down as a Zapruder film-esque here. And the issue with that is there's only one question to be resolved, only one. And that is, where did the live round come from?
There's lots of other questions. That's not the only question. That is not the only question. Like, he's trying to set up his fucking Tiger King documentary, bro. It's like, what the fuck? He's setting up his Rust the documentary. Like, it's gonna be him in jail being like, I didn't do it. The real question is, who put the bullet on set? Do we dare look at the comments? I think we do. I genuinely believe it was an accident, but someone needs to be held accountable. Yeah, yeah. How heartbreaking for everyone. Sadly, the person in charge of firearms wasn't fit for the job. Really sad. The public will probably never see this go to trial, nor the live of the horrendous events be seen, but the truth is out there. The truth will be buried. Why anyone in their right cognitive mind would conduct an interview like this during an act of indifference is unbelievable. I completely agree. All I can say is the grace her husband showed Alec Baldwin is inspiring. That's true. What is the actor's responsibility? It is a very good question to ask. I agree. How in the world could something like this happen? It's a tragedy. Yet he is such a narcissist to the point of no accountability. Pray they find what truly happened. I agree. So I know there's more to this. I'm not gonna. I don't care to find it.